Hi there, I am Jen from catascrapdesigns, and I am here today to basically introduce myself and let you get to know me a little bit better, because all you really see are my hands when I'm working, when you're looking at my videos. So I just thought that this would be a little more personal. This way you get to know me, and maybe how I started doing what I'm doing. Probably in 2005, I think it was around 2005, I moved to Florida from New York by myself. And my job actually let me come here and open up an office. And I want to say within 6 months, they sold. I was unemployed in 6 months. I'm in Florida by myself, not knowing anybody, not having any friends here, not knowing if I'm happy, if I want to go back, just not knowing what to do. And I was very stressed out. So what I did was I got into scrapbooking. I started scrapbooking. I was doing that for a while, and I met somebody online, and I don't know if it was through eBay. I really don't know. I don't remember. It's that long ago. And I guess they suggested I start, selling, because I was making stuff for me, my nephews. I didn't have any kids. I was single. But I was making additional stuff. And they're like, start selling it on eBay. People buy that stuff, just to bring in some extra income now that you're not working. So I started scrapbooking, and I was probably at that time one of the only people that used to sew the scrapbook pages, and that was my thing. I always sewed my scrapbook pages, the mats, just everything, and they came out beautiful. And I did that for a while, and I said, okay, well, if I'm doing that, I may as well while I'm unemployed looking for a job. I was using a lot of Prima stuff. I was buying stuff online, and I said, I may as well become a reseller, and let me see what I could do with that and start reselling on eBay. So I became a reseller for Prima Marketing, 7 Gypsies, a couple others I just can't even remember. And I just all of a sudden had a lot of stock in my home, and thank God I had a 3-bedroom townhouse that I had bought. So I started doing that for a while, and I did that probably for, I don't know, a little bit over a year. And again, I had met some other people on eBay, and I became part of a design team. They've been doing that on eBay, kind of like what you guys do now on YouTube. So it was a little, I guess back then in 2005, just that's how, I guess eBay was the way to go. I don't know. So as far as doing the resale, I was doing that for a while, and that kind of got a little tedious for me. It was a lot of work. And I really didn't want to do it anymore. So I guess after like 2 years, I think I stopped doing that. In between that, I did get a job. I was working full time. So I was doing this, whenever I had a sale. So I don't want to say part-time, full-time, it really wasn't full-time. I wasn't getting a bunch of orders. I was a power seller on eBay. So that's pretty much how I started. And I did that for quite some time. And I moved into this house in 2010. So probably about 10, 11 years after I had moved here. I had met my husband, and I had a son, and we came to this house, and I was still doing scrapbooking. And then somehow I got involved with doing junk journals. I don't know if I was looking through YouTube and I was seeing, because I used to do not only scrapbook pages that I was selling on eBay, but I was doing scrapbooks. I was doing custom scrapbooks, which that was a lot of work. That took me probably the most time. So I stopped doing that, and, searching through YouTube, I kind of saw this niche, and I said, oh, let me try that out. That looks kind of interesting. And so I started, I think that's how I started. So I just started collecting stuff. You know, when you start out in the beginning, you don't have a lot of, you know, a lot of stuff for the junk journals, because I was doing scrapbooking, but I did have a lot of the supplies, because I had a lot of scrapbooking supplies. I had a lot of the punches. I had already had my Cricut. I had my Cameo. I had my sewing machine. A lot of other tools I already had. So I guess I was lucky in that way when, you know, I had a bunch of stamps, so, and paper galore. And then when I stopped doing resale, you know, being a reseller, I just had so much stuff. And I got to tell you, after all these years, I still have stuff in my garage, that I just never listed and, you know, stuck up there in a Rubbermaid bin and said, I'll use it one day. So, but today, you know, I don't really use all that stuff, but I do, you know, purchase stuff from my junk journals, and I do a lot of thrifting. I love doing thrifting. It's kind of like when I find a good deal, I get a high out of it. So there's a lot of things that I really don't need, but I still go thrifting, probably like a lot of you guys. I know I'm not the only one out there that does this. Some people would say you're a hoarder, Jen, and yeah, maybe I am. I don't know. You know, I have a lot of stuff that I don't use that I probably should use before I go back thrifting, but I can't help myself. I just love doing it, and I incorporate that into my journals. So that is pretty much how I started. So again, being here, there was a couple of years that I wasn't working, so I was doing it a little bit more often than other times of my life when I was working full-time. When I was working full-time, I couldn't do it as much, obviously, because I have a family, I have a child, I had a full-time job. I was a volunteer for some things, so I just had a lot going on, and I did stick it in there because even going back to 2005, it helped me mentally. Back then, it was like a mental thing. I needed something to do to keep my mind off of, you know, a lot of the stuff that was going through my head, not knowing if I wanted to stay in Florida, if I wanted to go back to New York, if I made, you know, I had a lot of things going through my head. Did I make the right decision? Things of that nature. So, but when I came back here again, you know, we all still have stress. I still have stress and anxiety, and crafting, whether I'm doing it to sell. I have an Etsy store. I still have my eBay store after all these years. I still sell here and there on eBay. Not a whole lot, but I'll sit here and I'll create, and whether it goes in a box because I'm just doing my ephemera just to have for when I do junk journals, it relieves a lot of that stress and anxiety when I am doing it, especially if I'm doing it and I'm home alone. It does relieve it too, like when my husband's here and he's in the living room and he's watching his football during, you know, Monday night. He's a college football fan, so during Monday Night Football, you know, he's doing his thing, I'm doing my thing, my son's doing his thing. I'll come into my room and I'll just start crafting, and it'll make me feel better. I might have a bad day at work. I'll come home and I'll just tell my husband, you know, I got to go to my room. I have to sew. You know, sewing makes me feel better, or I got to go and rip paper. It just makes me feel better. I got to do something. So I'll just come in here and I don't know, I'll just start, you know, whatever the case may be, making snippets, making dangles. I might start a new journal. I'll look through my scraps and see what I have, and I'll just, whatever. I might go on YouTube and look and see what's going on, and, you know, watch a video and say, oh, that's what I'm going to work on right now. That's what I need to do just to take my mind off of whatever's going on. So that's pretty much how I started. That's where I am today. My husband complains a lot that I take up a lot of the garage space because I still have a lot of my scrapbook stuff that I haven't used or haven't gone through. And he's always looking to give it away. And I'm like, don't touch my stuff. It's got to stay here. It goes up on a shelf. It stays somewhere. You know, I do have this room. This was supposed to be a dining room in my house. It's my craft room. I take up, we have a 4-bedroom house, and my son has a playroom in the front of my house, and I take up that closet in the back end for all of my big shot stuff, all of my dies, all of my embossing folders. I have shelves with stuff for journaling, just paper crafting, whatever you want to call it, in there. And then I have an office, and that closet is filled with fabrics. So I do take up a lot of room with my stuff. That's why I say I really need to stop thrifting. I need to start using my stuff. You know, it's kind of like, you know, you drink your milk and till it's a quarter full, and then you go and buy a new gallon. I have a gallon here, a gallon there, a gallon here, and I just have stuff everywhere. And I just don't have enough time to do what I want to do because I work full time. I have my son who goes to a private school, and it takes me, you know, in the mornings, an hour and a half to get him to, and then come home from school, and the same thing in the afternoons. And then if he has any extracurricular activities, you know, it's just a lot of time taken out of my day. So I just, like everybody else, you know, there's just not enough time in the day to do what you want to do. Right now, I'm not currently working because I just got laid off a couple of months ago. So I am looking for a job. So I will be going back to work soon. I don't know when. So I have been doing more crafting and creating more videos the last 2 months than I have months prior. I'll continue to do that until I go back to work. And then when I go back to work, I'll go back to doing this, you know, a couple of times a week when I can, on the weekends when my husband says, go do your thing, Jen, you know, like, and he doesn't mind. So even when I want to go thrifting, he sometimes comes with me, and he holds my stuff while I go and do my thing. Especially when I go to my favorite craft store. On Saturday mornings, the stores open at 8 o'clock, and the outside opens at 7:30, and everybody gets there at 7. So I get there at 7. So I wake him up early, and I'm like, come on, you said you were going to come with me. And, you know, like I said, if I'm having a good day, I'm having a good haul, he hauls my stuff, or he'll take it out to the car and come back. And he never really complains that much about what I'm bringing in. He'll make comments here and there and say, oh, we're bringing in another book, you know. But he's really not bad. So he lets me probably do a little bit more than I should be doing. He shouldn't allow me to bring in as much as I do, because I am taking up a lot of space. I'm taking up a lot of everybody's space. The majority, like I said, I have a 4-bedroom home. It's only me, my husband, and my son. My cat Piper, she's here meowing. Say hi. And then my dog Chase. So that's really it. Now I got hair all over me. But I just wanted to come and introduce myself and just, you know, kind of let you get to know me. So if you guys have any questions or comments, leave them below. I'd be more than happy to answer them or come back and do a Q&A. And that's me in a nutshell, guys. So again, it's Jen from catascrapdesigns. And I thank you very much for watching my video and listening to me and getting to know me. And I hope I could get to know you guys as well. So I look forward to seeing you on my next video. You guys have an awesome day. Talk to you all soon. Bye.